Let's go back to Peter Schrager's mock draft and take a look at the quarterbacks he has going to the first round. And again, based on what he's hearing, he has 3 of them, but only Cam Ward going to the top 20, Shador dropping to 21 to the Steelers, and the Giants trading back into the first round to take Ole Miss's Jackson Dart. Schrager is here along with Adam Schefter. So let's talk about the quarterbacks because, again, we talked about how volatile this market can be. Peter, a quarterback that you don't have going to the first round, very athletic, very talented, is Jalen Milroe. He will be in Green Bay for the draft. What's the latest on him?
Milroe's an interesting prospect because I don't think anyone sees him as a day one starter in the NFL. However, I've had multiple teams tell me, you know what, you take a guy like Milroe, you throw him in there on a red zone package in year 1 or on a 3rd and short, and he can run the ball as well as any running back you're going to have on your roster. And you can use him in that way as he learns the game and develops more. But I don't think that type of player is someone that is going to go in the first round. And after all my conversations the last 2 days, I don't feel confident with slating Jalen Milroe in my first round. I've been wrong before. We've seen teams come up for quarterbacks at the end of the first round to get that 5th-year option. This is nothing against the kid, and I don't think if any of these guys slip to the second round, it's a knock on them and their potential and their future. I personally don't see Jalen Milroe as a first-round pick on Thursday night as we sit here on Wednesday.
Yeah, and Adam, I bet organizations have Milroe looked at and they see what's capable of him. What are you hearing about Milroe?
Well, first of all, a lot of people wondering why he was invited to Green Bay. Does the NFL know something about Jalen Milroe possibly sneaking into round 1? Let's keep in mind that Jalen Milroe attended the draft last year in Detroit with Terrion Arnold, loved the experience, wanted to share it with his family, so he's bringing his family here. And if he doesn't go in round 1, then he's here on Friday night in Green Bay to go out to the stage, to embrace that moment when he is picked then. And I think that seems to be the prevailing wisdom around the league, is that Jalen Milroe will be a day 2 pick, somebody who instantly could become the most dangerous running quarterback in the National Football League. Now, he would need work, but there have been other quarterbacks that needed work. Josh Allen needed work to get to where he is today. A lot of people have compared Jalen Milroe to Jalen Hurts. 2 Jalens, both from Alabama, both represented by the same agent. Jalen Hurts went in the second round. Jalen Milroe may go in the second round. Similar height, similar measurables. So there are a lot of similarities between Jalen Milroe and Jalen Hurts, and I think that there are teams that look at him with great intrigue. But as we mentioned, there are about 5 real quarterback-needy teams, or 4, and there are 5 quarterback prospects in the top 40 or so. We'll see how that shakes out on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, because we've talked about the potential of a slide, and Peter, you just brought it up, that if we get slid past 21, there is a potential one goes in the first round, and there's a whole crop of quarterbacks in the second.
Yeah, and here's something to note with those last few picks of the first round. We've seen it with Lamar Jackson. We've seen it with Paxton Lynch. We've seen it, of course, with Teddy Bridgewater when Minnesota did it. The reason teams trade back into the first round is because if you get a first-round pick, you get that quarterback for 5 years on a rookie contract as opposed to 4. So there is an incentive if you want to draft someone at 31 or 32 as opposed to 33 or 34. Something to keep in mind if there is a late flurry for one of these guys at the end of the first round.
And another thing to keep in mind, if you've got a stable franchise with a stable starting quarterback and you take Jalen Milroe with an opportunity to develop, I mean, this guy looks like a creative player. He's something else to see. We'll be joined by you guys in just a minute. But coming up first, more of his new money.
I feel like I fly a lot, so I might look into this thing called like TSA pre-check. I feel like that sounds like it's a good idea.
Big spender. Can I get something off my chest real quick? You want to know one of the biggest rackets in travel? Sometimes everyone says clear. The clear line sometimes is longer and more jumbled than the TSA pre-check line.
Sometimes.
Glad you got that off your chest. Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, I'll tell you quickly, this new thing, I get a text every day, have I got my real ID? I haven't gotten my real ID. Am I going to be allowed to fly? I don't know what this real ID is, but I have to get the real ID. I get it. I'm on it.
I don't know.
You're stuck in Green Bay for the rest of eternity, Schrager. The good news is it gets warm here about July 12th, so you'll have about 2.5 weeks of summertime, and you can get back to your friendly confines of New York City. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
We're talking real IDs, and Fields still using the fake IDs to buy booze. So who knows? Let's go back to the draft. I'm going to ask some berries burning questions. Boy, we're on fire today, the day before the draft. Question number 1. This goes to Adam Schefter. Will Shedeur Sanders be drafted inside the top 10?
Well, there are 2 spots that people have asked about. Number 3, the New York Giants. Number 9, the New Orleans Saints. And the prevailing wisdom right now would be no to both. But again, we're not ready to rule out Shedeur Sanders at number 3. It doesn't seem like it's happening. But who would have thought last year that Michael Penix would go number 8? Until that pick is turned in, you have to wait and see. The organization's still meeting. Boards are adjusted. Owners weigh in. You never know how these things go, but the prevailing wisdom is no, Shedeur is not expected to be a top 10
You
pick
never
right
know
now.
is the operative word there. Barry's burning question number 2. Schrager, it's yours. Who should the Steelers draft at 21?
Well, they don't have a second-round pick. They traded that for DK Metcalf. So you're really saying we're going all in with this pick. It's our only pick in the first 64. I think Shedeur Sanders makes a lot of sense. They don't have a quarterback now besides Mason Rudolph on the roster. We don't know about Aaron Rodgers. And of all the teams that Shedeur met with, I know he had a really positive experience when he went to Pittsburgh. And as Adam detailed in his Monday column, if there's any wonders about whether the specter of Dion is going to be too big for a coaching staff to deal with, I think Mike Tomlin is going to be just fine and secure in his place in Pittsburgh. I like Shedeur Sanders, 21 to Pittsburgh. I think he would make a really good new franchise quarterback whenever that time may be.
So we know the Giants want to add a quarterback, although they added 2 this offseason. And you just heard Adam Schefter say it, you never know. So Field Yates, will the Giants do the smart thing and pass on a quarterback at 3?
Yeah, despite all the homework they have done on Shedeur Sanders, and I was out there at the Colorado Showcase, and it felt like it was about 50% Brown staffers and 50% Giant staffers, plus our ESPN camera crew out there in Boulder. I do think the Giants are going to pass on a quarterback at number 3 and take Abdul Carter, who had 12 sacks this past season. He led the second in the FBS in pressures last year. He was just a play-wrecking force on a game-in, game-out basis, played hurt late in the season, as you know, Matt, during the college football playoff, and even playing with essentially one shoulder. Shefty looked like the kind of guy who one day in the NFL will be a perennial 10-plus sack player at a coveted pass-rushing position.
Yeah, I've noticed in these Barry's burning questions, every single one of them revolves around Shedeur. Is Shedeur going to be a top 10 pick? Is Shedeur going to the Steelers? Will the Giants pick a quarterback at 3? I have a burning question, Matt. Is there a question outside of Shedeur that's burning in your mind right now that you want to know for the 3 of us?
Yeah. Did you plan on wearing just a mock zip-up under that snazzy blazer? That's the Barry's burning question there.
Question.
We could go all in on the quarterbacks. We haven't even brought up Tyler Shuck yet. We could go all Shuck all day if you want, but that's neither here nor there. I didn't even come up with a mock draft this morning. Peter Schrager did, and here's his top 10 picks based on what he is hearing. Again, he only has 1 quarterback in the top 10. Miami's Cam Ward to Tennessee at number 1 overall. And at the bottom, you see Schrager has, again, Adam's boy Shedeur falling to 21, where the Steelers
Your boy, Matt.
Your
Your boy.
Listen,